Good afternoon, everybody, and thank you for joining today's virtual information session this lunchtime. We are covering our part-time programs across the discipline of computing at ATU. I'd like to welcome you all and thank you for giving up your lunch break to join us today. So just to let you know that this webinar is being recorded. The watchback link will be sent out to everybody once the session has ended. So at least you'll be able to watch it back in your own time. We do have a question and answers box there available. If anybody has any questions that they'd like to ask the panel throughout the webinar, you can pop your question in there and our team of advisors are available in the background and they will be answering your questions throughout the next 45 minutes. So we aim to have the webinar complete in 45 minutes. Hopefully we shouldn't run over too much further than that. So I'd like to start off firstly by welcoming our team of our panel here today. We have Jade Lyons from our computing department in Donegal and is also joined by Maire Carr. We have Shane Gilroy from our Sligo campus. We have Frain from our Galway Mayo campus, and we're delighted to be joined by Jimmy Augustine, who is a graduate of one of our programs, and Jimmy is joining us today to talk about his experience of studying a part-time program at ATU. So we'll just take a little look at today's agenda. So we've covered off point 1, welcoming everybody here today and along with our panel members. We are going to focus on our part-time online and flexible programs across our computing discipline. I'll hand over then to Jade Lyons and Maire Carr to talk about our programs that are available from our Donegal campus, and we'll also spotlight some programs that may be of interest to you from there as well. Dr. Shane Gilroy will take over then to talk about our programs that are offered out of our Sligo campus, and followed by Frain from our Galway Mayo campus. And again, both Shane and Mark will spotlight some programs from our Sligo and Galway Mayo campus as well. And again, of course, we're going to talk to Jimmy Augustine as well, and Jade Lyons from Donegal will interview Jimmy as the program that he undertook was led out of the Donegal campus. After that then, he'll be back to me and I'll talk about the next steps, ways to apply for each of these programs, and we'll talk about funding and recognition of prior learning as well. So just a little bit about ourselves. I didn't introduce myself. My name is Eileen Conlon and I am the Online Marketing Officer here at ATU. So we are Atlantic Technological University. We are a multi-campus university. We have 9 campuses across the north and northwest of Ireland, and from there we have over 550 programs that span 8 disciplines. We have just over 26,000 students studying here at ATU with us. Each year we have just over 8,000 graduates, and we have a total of just over 2,000 staff here with us as well, working to ensure that all students have a very positive learning experience while they are here with us. So I suppose our focus today is on our part-time programs, and the heart of our part-time programs is flexible learning. So we all know that people studying these programs have other commitments. They have obviously, they're probably working full-time. They might have caring commitments as well. So these programs are all designed with flexibility at the core, and they're designed in such a way that you can upskill, retrain and learn at a pace and time that suits you. So this flexible learning allows you to specialise further in your discipline. We all know that the world that we work in today is ever-changing and there's lots of needs for people to upskill, especially in the area of computing as well, where things move and change so fast. Technology advances so quickly. The marketplace out there is vast. It's also, we have a full employment market here in Ireland as well. So industry is eager to get our graduates, but allowing flexibility to upskill, allows people to further, move up the career ladder as well. So lifelong learning is also possible with flexible learning. You can take on programs from level 6 right up to level 9, master's programs with ourselves. We also have micro-credentials, which we'll get to later on in the webinar, which are short snippets of learning, but it allows people to upskill, spend a couple of hours per week, undertaking a program, and it allows them to advance in their career. So continuous professional and personal development, again, is what we do here, covering these part-time programs. So our computing department sits in our Faculty of Engineering and Computing, and in Engineering and Computing we have over 143 courses. You can see the breakdown there on the right hand side, but today this webinar is covering our part-time computing programs. So again, these programs span, you have programs in that are solely online. We have blended programs which may allow a little piece of that, face-to-face learning, where people do so much online. They might come on campus once a month, or once every couple of months. We have on-campus programs then as well. Again, these are all part-time. So again, you have the option to study how you wish, what will work best for you. So without talking too much further now, not much more from me, I am going to pass over to Jade Lyons from our ATU Donegal campus, and Jade is going to give you an overview of the computing programs that are available from our Donegal campus. You're welcome, Jade.
Thank you very much, Eileen, and welcome to everyone that's online. Really appreciate that you're interested, and particularly in our computing offerings. A very quick overview of what we offer in our postgraduate. All of our postgraduate courses, our MSc courses, are offered full-time and part-time, and our part-time courses can be undertaken 1 module a semester, 2 modules. There's a lot of flexibility on how you maybe like to complete them. You can see from the list on the slide there, we have big data analytics AI, cloud, cybersecurity, DevOps, cyber psychology, supply chain analytics. We also have blockchain technology, sustainable supply chain. So more of the courses are listed on our website. At our lower, not our level 9 or lower level, our undergraduate courses, we have a level 8 in cybersecurity and a level 8 in contemporary software development, and these are part-time on campus. We also have online courses that are available, and these are funded by Springboard, so they're either completely funded or they're heavily subsidized depending on your background. And again, these are offered online 2 evenings a week, and they range from cybersecurity, big data, DevOps, cloud, and so on. And we also have courses at lower levels, level 6, level 7, and level 8, and conversion, HDIP, and computing as well. So there's a wide variety of courses for Springboard that are offered online. And you can see as well, there's certain micro-credentials, minor awards, and special purpose awards that are listed there that you can also do. So that's just a quick overview of the courses that we can offer. But I suppose what we wanted to do was spotlight a particular course. It's one of our newer courses, which is very interesting. And my colleague, Maire Carr, is here to chat about our MSc in cyber psychology. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jade. You're welcome, Maire. So I'll pass over to you, and you can talk away there now about that program.
Perfect. Hello, everybody. I am Maire. I've been teaching on the cyber psychology MSc and the BSc for the last 2 years. Cyber psychology is an extremely interesting, quite new field of study. We are under the Department of Computing, but we are, I suppose, more around the psychology of our technical lives. So cyber psychology is the study of our online behavior. Why do people act the way they do online? We're living in a digital world, so this is bringing in our core concepts, theories from psychology and applying them in an online environment. I myself am I graduated with an MSc in cyber psychology, and it is extremely applicable in a number of different areas. So some of the career paths we've seen come out of this is around new fields such as cybersecurity, awareness, what makes people vulnerable to cyber fraud, to cyber crime. Education and digital well-being is a massive issue at the moment. Some of our undergraduate students are working with a company called Cyber Safe Kids. They do online safety training. I'm sure maybe everybody has seen Adolescence at this point, that Netflix program about the online lives of teenagers. We're working to kind of understand, why do people behave the way that they do, maybe online? How do we keep teenagers, young people safe? So there's a broad array of kind of applications in the real world. So our MSc tackles a number of different modules. Cyber ethics, we're obviously looking at data, we're looking at data policy and regulation, human-computer interaction, and UX. We're looking at how our systems designed, what makes a system effective, what makes an interface effective. We're also looking at artificial intelligence. It's also a huge buzzword at the moment. What are the ethics around this? How do we make it explainable? Trust is a massive thing with AI. If somebody doesn't trust the system, they won't utilize it. It will lead to a lack of adoption of that technology. So we're looking into, how do you create human-centered artificial intelligence? How do you make people, how do they explain the processes that are going on, transparent AI, and to use that technology responsibly. We're looking at social cyber psychology. This is how we build relationships online dating, online communities, and applying kind of psychological concepts in that realm. We also then have behavior across the cyber lifespan. We're looking at, screen time for children, all right the way through to online learning and various other topics in there. So it's generally a 2-year master's. Typically, we have 8 hours of classroom time per week, so very, very flexible, as you can imagine. And then we have a dissertation module, so 30 credits that you would work to full-time, sort of in your second year. It is extremely relevant in today's world. It would appeal to people who are looking to upskill, looking to develop a deeper understanding of the technical world. I'm going to give you an example from UX. People who are familiar with design, if you're changing an interface, if you're changing a system, you want to be able to rationalize, give a rationale. Why did we make this choice? Why have we presented this design? Why have we made this change? What our students are set up to do is give the psychological concepts beneath this. So say we have designed this interface because we want to make sure that our cognitive load is not high. We want to use the information in a clear, concise way. We want to minimize effort, minimize any kind of strain on the user, and make things as seamless and intuitive as possible. So just giving that language, giving that depth of understanding, being able to speak to why they behave the way that they do, advise on website or system effectiveness and efficiency. There are a number of different career paths in cyber psychology. It's applicable across a range of different areas, from cybersecurity right through to education. And you also, students will have the opportunity to delve into research if that's something that's of interest to you. Some of our topics that our master's students are currently looking at is people who are self-diagnosing ADHD based on social media content. So that's your cyberchondria, Dr. Google, right through to ChatGPT and trust. People, how they perceive ChatGPT. So really, really interesting range. Very, very appropriate for you if you are looking to kind of deepen your knowledge of psychology. I myself didn't have a psychology background. I came to cyber psychology through the interest in technology, interest in what makes us tick online. So you do not need to have a psychology background. You will cover all core concepts within the course. But it is an absolutely fantastic, a really, really exciting new field of study, a massive opportunity.
Lovely, Moya. Thank you so much. That was really informative. And if anybody wants to find out more about this programme, you can go to atu.ie/flexible and you'll get lots more information on the programme there. And as well as that, you can see that there's contact details for Jade Lyons, Head of Department there. You can also email Jade to get more information on this programme. So thank you so much, Moya. So now I'd like to move on to our graduate, Jimmy Augustine, who is a graduate of the Master of Science in DevOps and is currently working as a Senior Engineering Manager. And I'd like to invite Jade to interview Jimmy for us, please.
Thank you, Eileen. Yeah. Hi, Jimmy. You're very welcome. Thank you for coming on. This is very much appreciated. Okay, so really, I suppose I'll just get straight into the questions. What motivated you to undertake, a postgraduate course in computing?
Yeah, as you know, I'm working as a senior engineering manager in my current company, and in 2023, we started a huge migration project from a legacy application migration of a legacy application to a modern architecture with a fully integrated DevOps pipeline using AWS infrastructure. I have a big team who works on DevOps tasks, and I also have to work very closely with the DevOps team. And initially, when I am having the conversation, the design planning meeting, it was kind of very difficult for me to understand. And although I started learning DevOps concepts and all that, I thought a disciplined approach to learn DevOps is going to be helpful within my role, within my personal and professional development. So that's why I signed up for this DevOps course. So that was the motivation. But it was always in my mind, but my work responsibility never actually demanded that. But with this new role as a senior manager in this company, it really drive me to do something about it. So that's why I jumped onto this opportunity.
Okay. So your experience of the course, can you talk a bit about that?
Of course. First of all, this online format extremely beneficial for me because, as I mentioned, the migration effort is a huge effort. So it took a lot of time from me. So if I had to go for a full-time course, first of all, that is not possible. So the online flexible schedule, that was really work for me so that I can work around my work and also the family commitment. So that was hugely benefit. And the structured pace, there is a predefined structure for this course that actually helped me to carve out time for assignments, and some of the deadlines actually serve as a helpful guardrail. Although I don't personally like any deadline, but those deadlines are helping me or help me to keep that as a guardrail so that to keep me focused. Of course, juggling family commitment, work commitment, and also this assignment commitment, it is tough, but I think at the end, it really worth it. Really.
Okay, thank you. And then now, how do you feel that has the course impacted your career?
First of all, I completed another master's course in ATU in 2022. That is a MBS Masters in Innovation and Leadership. So that actually helped me to realize my potential in providing coaching, negotiation, and facilitating complex technical discussion and problem solving. So that actually gave me the confidence that I can actually do another course, although it is demanding. But once you start learning, it's kind of it's a kind of an addiction, right? You can't stop learning later. Then my MSc DevOps course actually helped me to be increasingly hands-on. And because of that hands-on experience, I recently able to complete a POC in using large language model, creating a POC for retrieval augmented generation, in short, it's called RAG, for knowledge management. So those are all some of the benefits. But I think the most benefit that I received from this course is I can have a meaningful conversation with my team, with my engineering team, and I can contribute to their discussion. I can challenge them in certain architectural or technical decisions. So I think that's the main thing that I find beneficial from this course.
Okay, thank you. And finally, could I just ask, if you had any advice, what would you give to anybody that was thinking about studying this course?
I have many friends. When I mentioned that I started a course in HU, they were like, another master's, and my answer was, yeah, if I don't learn, then no, I'm almost 52 now. So they were like, at this age, what is the point of learning another master's, right? And my answer to them was that if I don't learn that after 2 years, I still be the same Jimmy Augustine, right? But I started it at the age of 50, and I completed last year. So that's first of all, it's never too late to learn anything. I still enjoy learning, and I actually started something else already on the large language model, which is very exciting. And the second thing is, because this is online course, people feel that they are isolated in that learning. So you have to make a deliberate effort to create that relationship with your classmates. Create a group, maybe a WhatsApp group or a Slack group, and you need to start communicating between each other, share your knowledge, share your problem. That is really, really going to help you with to to achieve your goals, or even in some cases there are group assignments. That is really important to have that kind of camaraderie within your classmate. And again, this is online. The delivery is online format. The speakers or the lectures will be speaking, but my advice is be engaged with the lectures, or be engaged with the speakers, so that you get more out of that. Don't get into the habit of being a passive listener. Then you are not actually getting the most out of those courses. This is fantastic opportunity to learn in your own pace, but at the same time, there is a discipline associated with it. And by having that collaboration with your colleagues and your lectures, it will definitely help you with that learning. So those are some of my takeaway, and I think others can benefit from that.
That's
And
great advice, Jimmy. Yeah.
Something else I just remember that when I started this course, there is this concept of REPL, which I didn't know before, and I thought I didn't have any experience in DevOps, so maybe I'm not eligible. But when I look deep, it is not just the technical knowledge that REPL is looking for. It is actually the entire experience that in your career that you accumulated. Could be leadership skill, or it could be management skill, whatever it is. Consider that REPL. It is really valuable.
Okay, yeah, and thank you for bringing that up. So recognition of prior learning, yes, yeah. So that's good to note. That's great advice. Jimmy, thank you very much. Really appreciate you taking the time to speak.
Thank you.
Lovely. Thank you, Jade, for that. And Jimmy, thank you so much. That was really, really interesting. And, I think there's an awful lot to be able to take from, the answers that you gave us there, in terms of, we love hearing that you're addicted to learning for a start, but, there's so much that you can do while juggling other commitments as well. You've just proved that, a person can come back and do a master's at their own pace and time, and continue that element of lifelong learning and professional development. So it's really, really good to hear that. And again, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay, so I'll hand over to Dr. Shane Gilroy now. Shane is going to talk to us about our programs from our Sligo campus.
Hi guys, thanks very much for that. And Jimmy, that was really good. Your point about if you start now, in 2 years' time, you'll be a different person is the way you said it. But when you look at taking on one of these programs, it looks like a massive thing to jump into. Whereas actually just starting the program is the bit, and then just pushing through, and then when time moves by, it's done, you know. So it's great, and I've noticed that myself. So that's a really good tip. Like, so guys, my name is Shane Gilroy. I lecture in the Sligo campus. I'm a program coordinator down there as well. We have 3 programs starting in September, part-time online. I'm going to start with the undergraduate courses you see here. The data centers facilities engineering one looks at all the maintenance and operation of data centers, specific to those big Google data centers that we're hearing and all that type of thing. That's relatively new coming into Ireland over the last 10 or 15 years, you know. So that looks at maintenance and operation of them. It's the level 7 program. It's 2 years part-time online. So you're looking at 2 to 3 live lectures during the week, around an hour each, really. And then you spend 1 week at our partner institution in Belgium for a lab, a practical hands-on session, you know. So the other one that's down there is electronic and computer engineering, which I lecture myself and am passionate about and definitely recommend to anybody at all thinking of getting into it. We have a level 6, a level 7 and level 8 part-time online option in that. So it depends where you're at the moment. If we go with a level 7, you'd come in on your level 6 with your level 6 qualification, or a qualifier that we have available as well. And if anybody wants to follow up with me, I'll put on more information on that. But again, it's 2 years part-time. The modules rotate each year, so the ones you're going to be taking would be different from the guys last year, but then it realigns after that. There's 1 lab day on site per semester, and it's 3 modules per semester. So again, 3 hours in the evenings, which are recorded that you can watch back if it doesn't suit your current work situation. That's really it. Then you can progress through to a level 8 in electronic engineering as well, within ATU Sligo online part-time as well. And again, that's 2 years part-time. There's no lab days for that at all. Most of the guys we see in there and girls are in employment and, you know, manage it in their own way, watching their recordings back, working with their lecturers with regard to their deadlines to parse it out over the year. And they're all good programs, definitely recommend them. The third one there that I skipped by is the postgraduate course in connected and autonomous vehicles. You can actually slip on to the next slide, Eileen, if you want. This is something I'm very passionate in. We set this up. This is our 8th year taking in students on this program. And really, it's really interesting to work on, but it's really interesting for anyone to come in and do. We're taking in students from mechanical engineering backgrounds, electronic, computer engineering, computer science, mechatronic, robotics engineers. And we're really taking in people who have a level 8 at this moment in time and really pushing it into the real modern concepts at a high end. So we're looking at high-end computer vision, machine learning, sensor fusion, all these new concepts that are applicable to all industries. But by looking at it in connected and autonomous vehicles, because you've got constraints like real-time requirements, lots of data to resolve and then to make sense of with these machine learning and computer vision algorithms, it's quite intensive, computing intensive and time intensive, like I say. So it's a real good example of how to look at this in a very safety critical high-end way. So there's a lot of different modules you'll see here. It runs over, we have 12 modules over 2 years, and then you would specialize in a master's thesis based on your area. Now, we also have the option of doing a placement, which we had some guys go to different companies who'd be tier 1 or tier 2 suppliers for automotive manufacturers internationally. So we've had quite a few people travel to Germany and around Europe on that, also to the US. We've had links from projects from Canada. We had guys from Russia earlier in the program as well. It's pretty much wide open because it's online. There's no lab days. So you're not forced to come over to Ireland, no matter where you are in the world. Almost everybody's in employment when they're taking this, so it's manageable whether you are or you're not, basically. But it's real high-end stuff, real exciting stuff, research-based learning. So it's good, like, to be involved in. The 6 modules you see in year 1 are on the left-hand side of the column, but you can see environment detection, which is looking at your robotic sensing systems. So high-end robotics, you're looking at camera systems, LiDAR, which is light detection and ranging. So it's similar to radar, your radio detection and ranging, but with light-based, so faster and more resolved data. You're looking at computer vision, like I say, and then in semester 2, we're pushing that onto machine learning, vehicle dynamics, which is effectively robotic dynamics and how that's moving and how we're counteracting that movement, and even then connected vehicles, which is very useful as well. The program has 2 integrated certificates, so you can do 1 year of the program which is 30 credits, and graduate with a postgraduate certificate in sensors for autonomous vehicles. You can do just the second year of the program, which will give you a postgraduate certificate in automotive artificial intelligence. Off the top of my head, that's the title. And you can also do a postgraduate diploma, which is all 12 modules without doing your master's thesis. So that's useful for people who, if your company's not funding you, or you want to just try out one bit and at least come out at the end of the year with a qualification in this type of high-end technology, which is really good. Then you can start into that and then upgrade your qualification. The other thing is you can come in, do a master's in year 2, find out you've got triplets coming and think you have to push that down the road and still come out on your exit award of a certificate or a postgraduate diploma or anything like that. So it's a really cool course. Definitely look it out, no matter what stage of your career you're in. Thanks very much, guys.
Thanks so much for that, Shane. And again, yes, really informative. And I suppose it's great to know that there is different pathways, and you can start off with postgraduate certificate and work your way to your full master's if you wish. But again, all this program, all the information you'll find on hu.ie/flexible. Shane's contact details are there as well on the slide if you want to contact Shane directly and ask any questions. But again, our question and answers section is open today, and our advisors are in the background answering those questions. Anything you have, you want to pop in there, feel free to do so, and we will get round to answering them. We have a range of programs in the computing department in our Galway Mayo campus as well. And again, I suppose all of these programs that are listed from our undergraduate to our postgraduate offerings all have that flexibility. They're part-time online programs. That's at the heart of all of these programs, and they're designed in such a way to ensure that the people that are undertaking these programs, who have other working commitments, home, caring commitments, etc., that they're all able to do these programs, earn their awards, while still continuing to be able to do all the other stuff outside of studying. So again, we have a range of programs, data analytics, computing for educators, cybersecurity operations. In the undergraduate offerings, then we have network cybersecurity. And again, we spoke about micro-credentials, which are those short pieces of learning. And we've some programs around that as well in cybersecurity and machine vision for industry. So I'm going to pass over now to Mark Frain, who is going to spotlight the Bachelor of Science in Network Cybersecurity from Galway Mayo. Mark, you there?
Yes, can you hear me? Hopefully
we can, Mark. Okay. Yeah, great. No problem.
I just one thing. Unfortunately, it's level 7, not level 8. The program, so we just might highlight that just to note that in the chat.
Absolutely.
That this is a level 7 program. It can be run over 2 years, but we also have got recently just this week actually got successful Springboard funding to run the program over 1 year as well. So there are lots of different ways and different pathways you can maybe take this program. But just to give you a little bit of background, it's the BSc Level 7 award. We have 60 credits in network cybersecurity. We focus on 2 areas. If you look at year one modules have a lot of focus on network and network cybersecurity and on operating system cybersecurity. So we see those as maybe core building blocks for the BSc. And then in year 2, what we move into is more around risk and compliance, information security, information management. So you're going to see database management, database security is in there. We have an introduction to cloud information security is there as well. And then we have IT project management and IT operations management in there as well. So what we would have done in the past, we would have structured the program over 2 minor awards, which you mentioned on the previous slide, which is you could do 30 credits in a minor award, which would be equivalent to the year 1. And that was a certificate in network cybersecurity. Then you could do a minor award in year 2, which was a certificate in data cybersecurity, and gain an additional 30 credits as well. Those combined, if you do it in that way over 2 years, you still get your Bachelor of Science in network cybersecurity. So I think maybe just to update on that, there is an opportunity to do it over 1 year now, and that 1 year is fully funded through Springboard. So again, I think it's a great building block. There are some, I believe, entry requirements because we start at level 7. It's not a full 3-year BSc that we run online. This is a 1-year add-on, 1 or 2-year add-on to an existing level 6 or award or an existing qualification you may have. So just maybe to be aware of that, that if you're going to come in onto the award, there is a little bit of a prior qualification that you would need to have, or as Jimmy mentioned earlier, you can go through the RPL, the recognition of prior learning route, which is a great opportunity to get into these programs as well. This is all online. Okay, so what that means is we schedule some classes during the day and some classes in the evening. We present you with a timetable at the start of the year. If you can't make any of these classes or any of these tutorials, they're all recorded. They're all posted to our virtual learning environment, which is our VLE. And you can come back to that then at a time that suits you, watch the recording, engage with it, and still participate in the course. So there are time slots, dedicated time slots, where we do deliver online tutorials. That's a good way to engage with your tutors, engage with any questions you may have around assignments, things like that, which is very good. But if you don't make it, it's not the end of the world. You can go back, view the recording, and still participate. I just think it's a very interesting topic, particularly around the whole area of cybersecurity. This leads into, we also have a level 8 higher diploma in risk and compliance. And we also offer the level 9 in cybersecurity operations as well. Very interesting program on BBC 2 last night. I think it was BBC 2, probably was BBC 1, on the recent cyber attack in M&S. And, it's just about having, it just re-emphasizes the need to have an understanding of the skills that are required in industry, in any industry, to try and detect and thwart some of these attacks. So if you want to jump in and have a look at that, I think was an excellent program on how they became subject to that. Interesting, 3 different retailers all were attacked at the same time. So what they're thinking is it was some sort of supplier or third-party vendor that may have been compromised that these larger organizations were using. And this leads to what is coming down the line for cybersecurity for us in this program, which is the NIS 2 directive from the EU. We need to be aware of that. We need to bring that into these modules, and we need to have the skills to be able to implement that in our organizations. Okay, so I think the details on those have been posted in the Q&A in the chat, and if you have any further questions, my email is there, mark.frain@atu.ie.
Thank you very much, Mark. Again, very interesting to hear all about that program. And as Mark said, this program, along with all the other programs, are currently open for applications on our website. Again, if you just go to atu.ie/flexible, and you can find further information on all of these programs on that by following that URL as well. Okay, so we've referenced Springboard quite a bit throughout the webinar, but we're delighted to say that Springboard is now open for applications. We have quite a number of programs across our computing discipline that are eligible for Springboard Plus funding. So I would encourage you all to go to springboardcourses.ie to find out more on the various programs and what level of funding is available. So for people who are employed, up to 90% of funding is available on these courses. Some courses at level 6 are free, so it's really, really worth looking up Springboard Plus website to find out more about these programs. The QR code is there as well, should you wish to scan it, which will take you through to the programs as well, and you can apply now for those also. So as well as Springboard, there's lots of other opportunities for funding across all of our programs. If your employer is part of SkillNet, there's opportunities for funding there. Again, if you go to the SkillNet Ireland website, you can find out more about that. We spoke about Springboard. The micro-credentials as well, again, we've referenced those throughout the webinar. They're short pieces of learning, and there could be 50 to 80% funding for courses that are eligible under that. We have SUSI funding as well. So last year, the government launched SUSI funding for part-time undergraduate programs, and ATU are delighted to have a number of programs that are eligible for SUSI funding. So again, if you go to susi.ie, you can apply for the funding there. But if on our own website, atu.ie/SUSI, you will find a list of the programs that are eligible for the SUSI part-time funding as well. And some of our computing programs that we mentioned are eligible for SUSI funding also. We do have a fees and funding guide also available on the ATU website, so you can take a look at that as well to get a full list of what's eligible and fees and things like that. So we're also delighted to have alumni scholarship at ATU. So if you are a graduate of ATU or any of our legacy institutes, which is IT Sligo, GMIT, LYIT and St Angela's College, you may be eligible for 20% fee reduction in a Thought Level 9 Master's programme. Again, we'd encourage you to get your applications in as they must be submitted by the 15th of August, and your application will be assessed then. But it's a great opportunity to get a reduction in your fees for a Thought Level 9 Master's. So ways to apply, so any of the programs that we've discussed, and we do have a portfolio of over 470 programs, so they're all open for application at the moment on atu.ie/flexible. So we'd encourage you to go to our website, explore our courses, check the entry requirements as well. So it's just important to make sure that you are, that you have the entry requirements for the program that you're applying for. You will have to complete an application form, and some of the programs will require you to upload your CV or maybe your transcripts from your previous courses that you've undertaken. All of our programs, or all of the applications, are academically assessed then, and once that is completed, offers will be made. So the students are registered mid-August to early September, and the application deadline for September intake is the 15th of August. The 15th of August, but we'd encourage you to, if you're interested in a programme, to do go on, find out more about it and get your applications in early, because some of the programmes are in high demand. So again, we spoke about recognition of prior learning throughout. Sometimes if you're not meeting the entry requirements that are on the programme webpage, RPL may be something that could work for you. Again, this is something that we'd encourage you to get your application, or get the ball rolling on applying for RPL sooner rather than later, because it is a little bit of a longer process. But RPL takes into consideration your previous learning and your previous industry experience that you've gained over the years. So again, we have assessors in the background in RPL who will guide you through the process. And it's a good way to gain entry or advanced entry onto a program. So again, we have atu.ie/RPL, and you can find out all the information on that through that webpage. So we have an online and flexible learning part-time prospectus available. Again, you can scan the QR code there, which will bring you to a form just to download the prospectus. You'll get all the information on all our courses there, the number of credits, the fees, the campus that it's laid out of, different things like that. So again, do take a look at our prospectus. You might find something that's of interest to you. And again, we have been hosting webinars for the past couple of weeks. Here are our future webinars. If we haven't piqued your interest in one of our computing programs today, there is opportunities to, register for some of our other webinars. We have Design, Arts and Humanities next week on the 11th of June. Following that, we have Sport and Nutritional Science. And then we are running a webinar on the 9th of July that will cover all our courses that have funding available on them. We have completed a number of webinars across different disciplines, and they are all available on the ATU YouTube channel, which you can watch back those if something there might be of interest of you as well. There is a QR code there as well that you can register for our future events. And I suppose just to mention again that, as I said, all our programs are open for application. All our panelists are there. They're willing to take questions, or do feel free to get in touch with them should you need to. And I'd just like to take this opportunity to thank Jade, Moya, Shane, Mark, and of course our wonderful graduate Jimmy for joining us today. If your questions over the last 45 minutes haven't been answered, our team will still be working away in the background, and we will ensure that everything gets answered. So thank you very much again for giving up your lunchtime, and enjoy the rest of your day.